Welcome to another episode of This is Motherhood Unfiltered. All right, so today, reach for the stars. Today we have Kayla, aka Frankie. Why do you go by Frankie?
It started in RTC because my last name is Franklin.
Oh, okay.
They just said Frankie, which is the same amount of syllables, so I don't really get it.
I mean, they be making up their own stuff because I was called H2OS because Waters is my maiden name. Or they call me H2O. Anyway, so this episode we're doing a motherhood hot seat where Frankie here will ask me anything under the moon about motherhood, labor, delivery, sex, after, before, all the things. Do I know what she's going to ask me? Absolutely not. That's the beauty of the unfiltered part. Frankie is expecting her first. So she's on that journey. So we're going to get into all of that, all of the fun. But yeah, so you're expecting your first due in
August.
Okay. Do you know what you're having?
A girl. Little girl.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Oh, the joys.
I know.
Listen, it is fun. It is fun, especially like all of the transitions. Like I'm going through all of the transitions at once, I feel like, because I have a toddler-ish, elementary school, middle, and high. So I have all of them and it's all happening like at the same time. So enjoy it. It's fun. Like cherish it, capture it, like all the things. So Frankie and I met at youth group. Not when we were youths, but like leading youth group. I met her and her husband, and then I was like, who these new folks is. So me being a complete introvert, I just don't know what became of me. I introduced myself to them both. But okay, you ready?
I am. They're all over the place.
It's okay. It's okay. We gonna be all over the place together. All right, here we go. What you got? What you got from me?
Okay. First question.
Ooh.
How do you gentle parent with a bit of authority? Because, I don't want to beat them all the time.
Oh, we just running out the gate. Just each child is different. So gentle parenting for my 7-year-old looks different than gentle parenting for the 16-year-old, right? So my parents were very strict. Strict parenting styles, which caused a lot of rebellion. Like sneaking out, just all of the things. So when it comes to the gentle parenting for me, it comes a lot with communication. So making sure that there are those open lines of communication, but then there are times where they just don't care about your gentle parenting. They don't care. They feel like you all up in their business and you're hovering and you're smothering me or you exhaust me. But then like it varies with children. Like I thought that I could parent the 16-year-old, which is my daughter, the same way that I parent the 8-year-old. And it's not the same because the 8-year-old is very literal. Like when I say extremely literal, like we were in the drive-thru at Checkers and Checkers now has that automated system. So she'd be talking back to you. And she was like, is that all for you? And I was like, yes. And she's like, okay, your total is blah, blah, blah. But we're getting up to the window and he goes, Mom, she asked you if it was all for you. Did you not get anything for me? I was like, no, baby. Like she was asking, like, did that complete my order? Like, so he's very literal. And I can be very stern in what I say with him, and he's still kind of like, and that's for both of my boys, like the 13-year-old and the 8-year-old. But with her, it's very, very different, very trying. Lots of prayer and crying involved.
Wow.
So, don't know if that answered your question, but it's a lot of finding out who your child is, and
Right.
like adapting to that style and that way of parenting them.
Gotcha.
So
That makes sense. Got it. Gotta meet them first.
yeah.
So,
But it didn't start like that though. Like with her, like I started with the very strict, because I said so, you need to bring in all A's, like this is not up for negotiation. But it did have me reflect a lot about how I was raised, and I was not an all A student. Not even an AB student. Shit, not even an ABC student. I was more like, I failed PE.
oh,
I didn't want to dress out.
oh, that's
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's not. So I'm shifting and adapting, because there are subjects that you're better in than others, right? So as long as you're completing the work, like then we can rock with it, and praying that you at least come in with a C average.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
All right. So now this is more of a sexual question. How practical is waiting to heal after you have a baby?
How practical? I'm a bit of a horn dog.
Okay.
So, there was, like, I think it's like a 6-week wait period, I think they say, or until after your first like postpartum visit or whatever. My drive is, it's a little high, so I feel like I might have waited the 6 weeks, but I might have like tipped into into not waiting the 6 weeks.
All right.
But it is, I mean, it also depends on y'all's sex drive. So I think my husband could have waited because of the fact that he doesn't want to hurt me, or he doesn't want to whatever, and I'm just like, hey, let's get it. Let's get it. So yeah, it is practical. It also gives you time to adapt to sleep schedules, and like, because you are like, your mind might not be on that. Mine was, because again, my sex drive is higher, so I feel like my mind is always on sex, or like whatever. Like, I'm gonna grab your booty when I walk through the kitchen. Like, what? Like, matter of fact, grab mine when I walk through the kitchen. Not even. Listen, let's reach at the same time. Like, so it is practical, but I don't think I waited. I actually don't think I waited for any. I waited the recommended time for any of them, but yeah.
With that being said.
With that being said.
So you have a newborn baby.
Yes.
And you are in the heat of the moment. Where do you put the baby? Just go to the side.
Okay, so I'm a bit of a rebel. Dang, we did say unfiltered, huh? So there are times where the baby, like bassinet, crib, whatever. But there are times that the baby is co-sleeping. Right? Co-sleeping. So the baby is in the bed with you.
In the bed.
Typically, right? Well, we got a king size bed. So if the baby's in the middle of us, we on the end of the bed. Just on the end of the bed. Well, we have carpet in our master bedroom, so the floor. We also have like a rocking chair. Anyways,
Oh, oh,
there's like a rock, like a baby rocking chair. Not a baby. Well, I mean, it is for the baby, but like it's a rocking chair. But a lot of times, just the end of the bed. He 18 months now. He 18 months now, still co-sleep, and we be up there on the side, like he be in the middle, and we just is what it is, man. Like I said, my sex drive is high, so well, there's no barriers. Like nothing will hold me back.
But then, like, when that, like, okay, so the baby is crying because I get like if they're
Sleep.
old, like I'm talking about like when they're like new, like if they're crying, I wonder if that's more like a all right, I'm dry now because that's like
Crying is different. Like sometimes you could just kind of like still keep it in and just like pop a passy in the mouth. This way you don't have to, completely detach yourself. But then there are times where that is such a freaking buzzkill, and it's like drier than the Sahara Desert at that point, and it's just like we'll just try again later.
okay,
So
makes sense. Gotcha. That's amazing. So does watching your husband be a dad like for the first time, like you have multiples, but like that first seeing him carry, does it give you all the good feels?
every time, it's not like, and I feel like every time is like the first time.
Okay.
Like Ariana is not biologically his, right? So when I had Ariana, when Ariana met him, she was like 9 months. And the way that she gravitated towards him, and she, at that age, at 9 months, she didn't go to any males at all. Like if I had male friends or like from the military or just hanging out, like she didn't go to anybody. The only person she went to was my dad and her godfather, which is why he's her godfather, and then him. Like even her bio dad, like she did not have that like initial like gravitation. I think that's the word. Gravitation towards him. But when she met him, she would go to him. She would sleep on him. She would allow him to feed her. And when I, would go out to sea because I was in the military, like she would stay with him, like for like, like the workups, like where it's like a week or whatever. And then come to find out, like I thought he had done it before, like cousins or whatever. And kind of find out like from his mom, and she's like, no, he never watched like his cousins or anything like that. But when he said he was coming over, he had bottles packed and all of the things. And I'm like, but watching him with our kids now four deep, like loving Ariana and like as like she is his, like and like blood don't mean nothing. Like I said, he's been around since she was like 9 months. So, and she'll be 17 this year.
Right.
So, like every time how he interacts with her, how he interacts with the boys, like he's so different. Like in that sense, like watching him interact with our kids and like I be getting jealous sometimes. Like they prefer him sometimes over me, and I'm like, dude, I carried you.
Right.
I don't understand. Like we had this internal connection from before everything, and now you did. My heart. But at the same time, like watching our toddler break down, and I try to soothe him, and he's like doing the noodle thing where he's like trying to get out of my arms. But when Brian picks him up, he like instantly stops and looks at me, and I'm like, ew, you traitor. So yeah, it's not just the first time, it's every time. Like every time, like watching him handle this fragile little being that literally is the size of your arm or smaller, and watching their relationship grow and build, and how like it it does it makes me melt, turns me on, all the
Oh.
things. It's just it's just sexy.
I can't wait. So
Are you excited to see your husband with your daughter of like
um
I feel like being in the birth community, because being a birth doula and a birth photographer, like you get those guys where they're just like, oh no, I'm hard, like I'm not gonna cry, or whatever, and I'm like,
oh, no, that's
watch
okay.
watch the birth of your daughter and watch you change your ways, like, and then like seeing them and watching them hold their child, period, girls or boys or girls, and they just melt. So are you excited to see him with her, like?
I I know he's more of a sensitive guy. Like
Oh,
he
okay.
emotes very well. So seeing, I know he's gonna definitely cry and do all of that. I don't know if it'll like be like a, because I have two sides of it. Like to me, like
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be on the side of like I feel like, oh my gosh, like it's just in my nature. Like I want to
Mm.
make sure he does everything right because,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, he's never really been
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
babies and whatnot. Or am I gonna be like, wow, like this look at my man, this is just so beautiful.
But at the same time, like I had to get out of the mindset as well of like, yes, it is in our, I guess, in our nature, but we've never done it either. We've never changed diapers before. We've never like breastfed or, cared for something so little and so fragile. But I feel like it's a learning curve for us just as much as it is for them. Like he had to learn, but if I'm constantly doing it, he can't learn.
Right.
Like if I'm constantly like taking over, it's like, no, you gotta put the diaper on this way. And there are times where it is a little loose, and then the explosion out the sides got to be a cleanup duty. But like, but I've done it too loose, so it is a learning process for on both sides.
Right.
So it is. I don't know. I think it is a magical thing, especially when you have that support of your spouse or your significant other.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. It's so next two questions are kind of similar.
Okay.
What are some ways to tell people not to touch my belly?
Mm,
And what are some ways to tell people like,
mm.
they can't hold my baby? Like I don't want you to hold my baby.
Uh touching the belly is different for me because I am an extrovert in that
Mhm.
sense. So I am a hugger. I am like a touchy feely like person, but there are some people that I'm like, please don't touch me. Like, and that's just like me shifting my body. So I don't think I've ever like directly had to tell somebody, but I feel like most people have gotten more respectful and asking. Most people, okay, some people, especially like in my circles, or like I'll, but I've never had anybody just straight come up and be like, oh, and I'm like, I think I'd have an anxiety attack. Like I think my whole body would like clench up
No,
because
yeah,
like
for sure.
I don't know. For me, there's so much. Like it's not just you touching. Like I feel like there's. I don't know. I'm not trying to get all spiritual, but I feel like there's like an energy or something. Like don't please don't touch me.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. No, I thought the same thing.
please don't touch me. Like, but again, like, but I was also with the youngest. It was also during COVID, so we I didn't have to deal with that, but um yeah. And then as far as like don't hold my baby, like the people that I circulate myself with are people that I would trust holding my kids. So um and if it was in a circle, and then like for instance there was somebody in that circle that like I didn't want to hold my baby, like the people that I do know would kind of like be my hoarders. So they would kind of hoard all that time. So if I was like, no, so they would kind of be my safeguards, right? Um, so there, so in our group that we were a part of when I had the youngest, there was a mom that I was not fond of, that I did not want, and holding, touch, like you can look from a distance. Like, don't, please don't touch my kid. Um, and the other moms knew that, right? There was one mom in particular that could hold Amari, and like if I needed to run to the bathroom or whatever, and Amari would just kiki and just all of in La La Land, but she knew my disdain for the other mom, so she would, oh no, like she kind of was like my safeguard. So just establishing those boundaries, and sometimes you just got to be frank.
That's the part I don't have.
Does he have it? Your husband?
Yeah, but then again, like the chances, because he will
Yeah.
always be working and all.
Oh yeah, you just. Oh.
I know.
I don't know, but there are people
like,
that like walk in the grocery store and they're like touching his feet, and I'm like,
it's easier when you don't know them, though. Like if
Yeah.
that situation, I'll be like, well, if you don't get your hands off my child. But like, it's when you're in that setting of everybody here knows me,
Mhm.
but some of the people here don't know that I really don't. You make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is when people touch my stomach. Like I could be truthfully, I could be going to church and I'll be like somebody could walk up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" and like touch my stomach, and it'll be like a quick touch. But to me, I don't mind that because like I'm cool with you. Like I eat at your table and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next person's walking up like,
but because they saw them do it, they think it's okay.
And
yeah,
it'd be a whole different feeling. And I'm like,
and now I feel like I gotta go like,
yeah,
that it's. I say it's hard because of just who I am, but in the same breath, it's like, no.
Well, that kind of answers the next question, because the next question was, is it wrong if I want certain people to hold my baby?
But no, it ain't wrong.
How do you even set those boundaries with friend groups and family? Like, you're at a cookout or a family reunion, whatever, and of course, like maybe your parents or like your siblings may want to hold the baby, but then it's like you got certain family members, because they're blood, they just assume
they feel like they have that licensure,
and that, oh, let me hold that baby.
It is a matter of having those conversations with, like, for instance, like if there's like a cookout, or because you gave the example of a cookout, like just giving those, like your people should know, like your parents, your sister, like whoever is in that tight circle should know, like, no, like she's not going to be okay with me allowing you to. So it's a matter of them again being those hoarders. Like, no, I want to. This is my grandbaby. I want to get all the grandbaby snuggles. Like, or just making sure. Like, and there may be like you might have to have that. I've never had that. Like Frank, like, no, hard. Thanks, but no thanks. Like, we're good. Like, I've never had to have those conversations because, like, who I surround myself, like, I trust you enough to hold my kid. So
keep it small. Keep the circle small.
Yeah, like, because you want to be able to have that village that you trust. Like, you can't do, or you don't need to do, or shouldn't do this motherhood journey without that village where you can go take a nap or take a shower and not have to like worry about that. Like, you're gonna worry regardless, but like, okay, my worrying can pause for like a 10-minute shower or like a 30-minute nap or whatever the case may be. But yeah, definitely, because there's some people where you could just make a face and your people know, where it's just like, oh no, can I get it her, or so you just, your people gotta know. Your people gotta know, like, just, mom, look, shut it down. And look, some people, if you got the right people, they ain't got no issues being your excuse.
My sister, no.
Be like, no.
Oh,
I think the baby's gonna be sleep. Like, I think the baby's sleepy now, or you like find like they will be. They got no issues. Oh, you don't want her holding? You want me to let her know? No, no, not as bluntly as
exactly.
we trying to spare feelings. Why? Why are we sparing feelings? They want to touch my niece or nephew. Like,
that's definitely on Derek. That's Derek's side.
No, you got to, like, but it's hard. Well, so I find it hard because of my personality, and I am so like,
yeah,
like, hey, like all of this, but there are people that I don't want, because there's also people that be kissing babies.
Ooh, that is like, that's my husband's biggest pet peeve. Like, he do not like that.
Don't.
Right.
No. And it is so irresistible because they are so cute, but at the same time, that's not your baby.
It's like, and I gotta really know you. Like, you just
that's not your baby.
Like, if you just out here, if you're a wild person, like,
like in the streets,
that right?
Like, if you out there in the streets and you go,
yeah,
oh, don't be giving my baby sip. Like, what?
Oh.
No, I can't. Nah, I don't kiss other people's babies. I'll be kissing my baby, but like, and even like I'll hug, right? Like, and then I have like my close friends, and even with that, like, I don't kiss them. Like, I'll do like that cheek, like, right. Like, oh, you're so cute, and I'll make the noise. And I think the first time I did that, my friend was like, I was like, I did not. Because even though we're close, we still, like, you still don't.
Like, yeah, like,
no, like,
I think it's more of like a motherly thing.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the older people. It's like, oh no.
No. I can't. But yeah, it is different. So how are you, and do you feel like you are prepared for like the labor side of this journey? Have you taken classes?
No classes.
Like, oh, we just winging it.
Yes, because people ask. I know it's normal, practical to take the classes, look up videos, and all this, but that's just not how my mind works.
Okay.
That would do more mental damage because I would be more anxious and worrying, like, okay, should I do this? So for me, like, I want to, at least this is my first child, like, so it's already bad enough that everybody gives me their horror stories of like this. Why
do we do that? That's
a great question.
Why do we like try to instill like just, oh well, this is my horror story, or they don't even say horror story, but this is my birth story. And there are some horrible birth stories, right?
Yeah.
But not all of them are horrible. Like,
I've had one person had a great birth experience that was like,
but not all birth stories are horrible. Yeah. Like my 18-month-old, I did it home and unassisted. So I didn't have any medical professional here with me at all.
Wow.
Thanks. Like, and like, it was great. Like, was that the way that I initially had planned it? Initially, when I first found out I was pregnant, I was like, I'm going to do it unassisted at home. Because the first 3 were epidurals in the hospital. Like, I don't want to feel nothing from the waist down. Like, knock me out. I don't want to feel it. Actually, I tried with the 8-year-old. but then I peed on myself more than a grown woman should ever admit. And like, I was just releasing. I was relaxing my muscles, and relaxing my muscles came urine. It happens. Um, but I didn't realize how close I was because they didn't communicate that with me. Like, I was already 8 centimeters. Like, I could have hung in there a little bit longer before getting the epidural. But with the one here, like, finances shifted, wasn't able to pay for the midwives to come to the house, but they did my prenatal care and my postnatal care. Right. So, but when it came here, like, it was if we were to have another one, which we are not because we are locked in at 4, no more. I would definitely do it again here, like being able to move when I wanted to move, and like eat what I wanted to eat, or drink what I wanted to drink, or shift when I wanted to shift. That part was great. Like, and we did the delayed clamping. So like, I ended up having him in the tub, in my bathtub, and like when we moved from the bathtub to the bed, like the placenta was in a bowl next to me, and we completely let it like stop pulsating before we even clipped it, or before we even cut it or anything. Like, and that part, like, it wasn't like, okay, well, we've got to get it like snipped. Well, I didn't have to do that, and I was at home, and I didn't have to go nowhere else. Like, it was just from my bathtub to my bed. Like, it was great. Like, yeah. I had my sister was here, my friend who acted as my doula, but she was also in school for midwifery, but she wasn't far enough where she could deliver my baby. She was far enough to let me know, like, okay, it's now time for us to go to the emergency room. Like, whatever. She was my voice of reason. But she was also my acting doula. And my birth photographer. That's it. That's all I had. My husband was here, but all I had, like, but it was great. There was no horror or anything like that. Like,
to me, that sounds terrifying.
Oh, that's
like, I can't imagine.
Why?
Like, honestly, the home births look more like, it seems more wholesome, but like, it freaks me out. Like, but then again, like the hospital births, especially with like the system and doctors and Black women nowadays,
yeah,
seems horrific as well. But like all of that stuff, I don't have a birth plan. I just have things that I'm not going for, like things that give me anxiety that will try to prevent. But like, as far as like just going into labor and all this stuff, like, I think I would be more excited for it because I love a good thrill. So that's,
well, labor is definitely a good thrill. Definitely unpredictable. Definitely, yeah.
I don't want anybody in the room unless it's just my husband and my mom. That's it. My sister tried it. I was like, "You don't even make the trip." I said, "Save your money because you won't be coming here. You standing outside in the waiting room."
Why is that? Do you think it's like more of like a privacy thing, or like,
not a privacy thing? Because I'm everything but private. Like, I told my mom, I was like, just go ahead and like record it. Like, let's try to hide a camera in there because I want to watch it afterwards.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, I don't want everybody in there talking, and then if somebody says something crazy, then I'm gonna be irritated. And then I already know how I am. I'm not the speak up type of person. So I'll have to whisper to my sister, like, "Hey, can you cuss everybody out real quick?" Because I can't do it.
Yes, you could. This is the time where you can like chew people out, and they're just like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I can't do it. I don't have it in me. I just don't.
you never know. A baby coming
That's
at you,
true. See,
you might get a little bold.
And I might be telling everybody, get out. Even
Yeah,
the doctor, you too.
like
get
it
out.
just. I don't know. Like I love birth. Like I just like it. It is empowering to see a woman bring life into like that is just I don't know that's just my like I love it and I think that when it comes to like I love home birth hot like out of hospital birth experiences are like I when I had the other ones I was solely like doctors know best like they know what they doing and but educating myself through being a doula and being in the birth field and being a birth photographer it's just very like just knowing that it is natural like right and of course there are some doctors who want to do all the interventions to get you in and out and oh well you're not progressing so let's do a c-section or let's the baby's not going to fit let's do an episiotomy like all of the things and I'm just like can we just let the vagina stretch to where it's going to be and just like but there are some circumstances that do lead to that but I don't think that the percentages are as high as
I don't know. I'm excited.
you are funny. I would love to see like just be a fly on the wall to see you in your birth space like
I told everybody, I was like, I'm gonna call y'all on FaceTime, and then have my mom stand there like this, just like, and they're like, please don't.
doing a play by play. Please do listen, because I do like I don't know. So, how do you mentally prepare for, or are you mentally preparing?
No,
not
yet.
I mean, we're about to be in June.
I know, but
how does your brain work?
My brain works is like I won't think about it or stress about it until it's happening. Because by the time it's happening, then it's like, because I like to save the excitement. Like and it's crazy because I'm a planner. I'm a huge planner. But when it comes to like my first time doing something, I just want to jump and do it. Like I don't want to prepare too much.
And then doesn't meet expectations.
Excited. Mentally though, like I haven't even thought about that part. I'm more so thinking about the physical, like the back's gonna be hurting and maybe and
because labor is different. Like this last one, all of my labor was front labor this time. Yeah, like it does vary, but
I have the Braxton Hicks though, and I feel it in the back.
Okay, so
I don't know.
It could be back labor then.
Sometimes it just feels like the whole all the way around.
It's like what? We're just gonna take this all around. So, do you have? Well, because you're going to Alabama. Do you have or have you researched? Well, you just said that you didn't want anybody in the room. So, a doula.
I don't have a doula. Not in Alabama. I had a midwife here.
Okay. That does hospital works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you just said that you were like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe on the next one. But
so doulas help in the sense of advocating for you. So that is something that you might want to consider. Because they'll talk with you and like you said before that there were things that you don't want to do or that would give you anxiety or something, but if they would talk with you about those and they would know like your limits, right? Like if they see that you are reaching those, then they would like remind you, hey, so this is something that we discussed, like this is whatever. They also help with like pain management. So like if you're having back labor, one of the I guess, techniques is like a hip squeeze, right? So they get behind you and like push your hips in, which
Right.
moves your pelvic, to open up. Um, but they are also helpful as like just a third party that is not emotionally connected, right? Because obviously in the heat of birth, like there could be things happening, and your husband is emotionally involved because it's his daughter, your mom is emotionally involved because it's her granddaughter, like you are emotionally involved because it's your baby, like, but the doula is there to kind of like, okay, like, and making sure that there is informed consent, because there are systems and people and doctors and nurses in those systems that cause statistics for us to not look so well,
Right.
right? So, um, just making sure that they do have that informed consent to check you, or make sure that they are communicating with you like, hey, well, we're going to do this. No, how about you inform me of what it is you're going to do, and I will make the decision properly with the information that you've given me. So, um,
That part is like, I think I'm more concerned about the part after birth, once the baby's here,
mm,
like with them taking the baby out of the room. That I don't. That main part stresses me out. That's the one thing
I
that
don't know
gives
if they
me
still do that.
so much anxiety.
So, I would my suggestion to you is to wherever you are going to deliver, like ask them what their procedure is after delivery, because I think, well, I feel like the hospitals in this area, they've shifted that policy a little bit, like they allow, like, they delay the infant exam, so they leave baby with mom for
Right.
I don't know how long, um but yeah, I can totally understand that anxiety though. Like, what? I
Because me,
carried
my
you, like for 9 months, and
exactly.
now you're gonna separate. Like, I don't know what it feels like to not be with you. Like, so
I was like, I was going to tell my mom to just follow wherever a baby
yeah,
goes if they have to take them out of the room,
yeah.
because that.
Definitely designate somebody, like if it is like their policy or their procedure or whatever, definitely designate like a stalker, a baby stalker, like
Yeah.
stalk that baby, like you see that baby walking down the hall, you walking down the hall, like all the things, but also make sure that you have somebody staying with you too, to make sure that your voice is heard and that you are um, being properly cared for, because
Gotcha.
we don't we don't need no incidents. So, was that all of them?
So honestly, there was a lot more.
No, Joe, come on. What you
Um,
got,
but
girl?
since while they're all over the place, but while we're on the topic
Uh
of
huh.
like that labor and delivery,
Okay.
like, okay, how do I ask this question? Like, I'm a very filtered person, so I gotta
Oh,
work on.
I'm not.
So, yeah, I yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm not. But
Um,
anyways.
so how do
So
you?
wait, so how hard was it for you coming up with questions, knowing that this is going to be completely unfiltered?
Difficult, actually. Like I was just sitting here, like, what should I say?
Oh yeah, we're unfiltered here. But go ahead. With your question.
How? So should I clean up like down there? Because it's shaving, waxing. Like I can't see down there anymore.
They've seen complete bushes. There's people that don't shave at all.
Oh,
So it's a complete jungle. There's some people that wax, like all the things. Your anxiety about that was my anxiety about that, because I was like, I want it to be clean, and like I want it to be neat in case, like, whatever. I got to a point where I couldn't reach, so I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I might like trim it, try to see if I could, like, lift it. Like, even with my boobs, I gotta lift and separate and all of this. I think after the first one, or after the second one, I just gave up. I was like,
Yeah, we're not there.
Whatever. You just, it is like, I even do that, like thinking about like going to the gynecologist. Like, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
I feel like I'm gonna, like, I feel like they'd be in the break room, be like, oh my God, I saw this lady's vagina today. That was so like, and I'm like, nope, I will not be the water cooler conversation.
I can still reach. I just can't see. Like, my tummy's in the way because
Girl,
everything. So I told my sister and my best friend, I'm like, okay, so which one of y'all are coming to tank?
Is that or a Brazilian go get a wax? They professional. They know what they're doing.
That sounds like it hurts.
I mean,
I tried. I had my husband do it one time.
You had him do the Brazil?
Yeah.
Girl, Brian could never.
I literally
He
cried.
could never, and that's why he could never.
I was more mad at him, and I'm the one who asked him to do it.
He could never, for that reason. For the, like, he's like, if you self-inflicted, like, you can do it to yourself. But having me caught, he could never. I'm like, but babe, I want you to. I will pay for you to go get it done, but I'm not doing it. And I'm like, come on, man, help me out. But no, I gave. It was bad enough. Like, so I've got a piercing down there. So it was bad enough having him put the piercing back after, like, yeah. So he he doesn't do piercings. He don't do pain. He doesn't do needles. But
no, my husband doesn't do that for himself. Like, he would never. Like, he hates pain on himself. Yeah. But when I asked him to do it, he was all game, and he thought he was just the best. And then that first rip, I was like, wait a minute. And he's just like, wait for what? I'm like, it was the worst.
Oh, no. I
was like, so razors and shaving it is for the rest of my life.
No, see, wax me up, man. Because when I was younger, I would miss and I would like snip myself, and I'm like, he wants to bleep. Like, yeah, no,
Yeah, I still want to be clean down there because I don't want them to. I don't want the doctors to, like you said, I don't want them to be.
Yeah, I don't want them to be like, yo, I saw this bush today, y'all. Like, I'm not trying to be your conversation.
Plus, I'm a weird person. I really do want to record it, and then I'm gonna sit and show everybody like, hey, do you want to see me get bird? And I don't want them to be like, oh wow, man, you were really. Is that the baby's head? No, I'm actually not even dilated yet.
Nope, that's not the baby's head.
That's all me.
Oh God. So, did your sister and best friend decide who was coming to help you?
They both agreed. So.
Oh, hey, you got some. You got some good.
I guess.
You got some good people. Let's see. You got a group.
Yeah.
You got a group. Oh, what else?
Yes. All right. So let me clear this. How do you respond to someone telling you what you need to do with your child? Like, because I've gotten birth or advice. Not even like birth advice. I'm talking about like the child's here, and it's like, I don't know. For example, like, I'm not a holidays person because it was just overdone. My mom was holiday free.
Okay.
So if I say like,
we're not going to do the holidays.
Yeah, like it wasn't even like that. I was just like, okay, you know what? I'd rather not. Like, I don't like holidays, and it was instantly like, oh my God, are you going to let your child celebrate? You have to, because it's a part of being a child. You know, you have to let them celebrate. And in my mind, I wanted to say like, you know, who are you? Like,
so there's always going to be that person or those people that feel like they know what's best for you and your child. Always. Like, whether it's a stranger you run into in the store, feeling like, oh my God, you have to do that. Like, or you should definitely use like, I take them all as suggestions. Like, we stopped but we stopped teaching the kids about Santa Claus. Like, Eric has never believed in Santa Claus. He's 13. Ariana is 16. So I would say we stopped around that time, because I think for us it was more of like, I don't want you to think that some mystical person is bringing you gifts. It was like, nah, we worked hard all year to get you what it is that you asking for. Um, but they also respected that other people still believe, right? So if they're asked like, oh, well, is Santa real? It's like, do you believe that Santa's real? Like, they flip the question. But you have to take it all as just a suggestion, because people are going to input. Um, just like for people feel like there are different parenting styles, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, some feel like their way is the best way, like so on and so forth. But it's taking what works for you. If not celebrating the holidays works for you and your family, and you and your husband are angry, do what's best for your family. Like giving, allowing my daughter, she just got her license in December technically, to like have a car. Like some people are just like, oh no, never. Like, okay, but that also helps this responsibility over here with getting her to school, getting her to like. Right. So, but it's a matter of finding what works for your family. I've gotten to a point where I just take it as a suggestion. I take it as that worked for them, so that fits them. So instead of like, oh, well, I feel like I have to do this because that's what they said, or my mom did this, so I have to do that. There are some things that my parents did or do, or they were really, like I said before, they were really strict. I didn't want to be that way. Like I didn't want to be overly strict. I wanted there to be that balance. And there's people that feel like you can't be your kid's best friend. Like you can't be a parent and their friend. Yeah. But I don't I don't believe that. Like I think that there needs to be that balance of where they respect you, but they can also come to you about everything. So right, yeah. It's a matter of finding what works best for your family. But take it as suggestions.
So like that median of me having to actually tell them like what I plan on doing with my children, because usually with those kind of people who are already that invasive, it makes it to they can suggest what they are doing, but then when the questions come, so then what are you going to do about this, and how are you going to discipline your kids, or how are you going to like who you going to let be around your baby? And it's like to me, like I really want to just say like that's really none of your business between me and my husband. Or like,
I mean, that sounds very polite, the way that you responded.
Well, yes, kind of.
It does. It's better than none of your business, or mind your own, or fuck off, or like, because there are other options to responding versus that's between my husband and I. Like that is a polite way of responding versus did you give birth to this baby? Are you paying for formula or diapers or breast pumps or like? So your response is very polite. Versus like and seeing and hearing about how you are in the sense of like not being as vocal or standing up for yourself, that might shift when she's actually here. Yeah, because I feel like it might shift because like you are protecting somebody, like you might like that little feisty roar might come out like
I don't know if they hate me though. Like I wonder if like it'll be because people have gotten so used to me being a certain way as
then they also have to respect your shift. Like they are used to you being a certain way, yes, pre-baby, pre-motherhood. Okay. So they also need to respect that you are in a new season, as they call it, of life where you might not be as passive as you were before. Like it's time for me to kind of have that little snip or that little bite when it comes to my child, my family. Like this is us. It's not you. And if you are going to come to try to invade into this,
Right.
you gonna get a little. You might be a little chihuahua bark, but it's a bark versus being like, yeah, sure, you can hold my baby. Like,
No.
you can hold my baby. I want you to hold my baby. But here, like, no, you might have to. It might shift. It might not. Like, it might not. But about to flip a coin and find out.
So with that being said, how do you? Let me. Oh, my organized list. So how do you handle someone treating your child good and not you?
Oh, I thought that was going somewhere else. If you don't respect me, you don't even like what?
Because I've heard two sides. I've heard that, of course, but I think that's more of like millennial and down, and then Gen X and up is more so, well, that baby has, is for the baby, so it doesn't, it's not about you anymore. Like, they should have a relationship with the baby.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, like Ariana has a bio dad, right? We got her a phone early when she was younger. So he didn't have to go through my phone to reach her.
Right.
So if you wanted to reach out to her, like you no longer have to deal with me, my attitude, my hello. Like you don't have to deal with that. Now you can just call her directly. So in that aspect, my feelings for you are on the back burner. If you want to call, support, whatever your child, then do so. I have now given you an avenue to do that. When it comes to other people, like if you, no man, like if you're not respecting me, you damn sure ain't finna be around my kid.
That sounds like my mom. Because my parents were separated growing up, so like, my dad, I had full access to my dad, but like anybody else, my mom was like, excuse me? Oh, you talking to me like that? All right, so you won't be seeing him this summer. Like,
right. Like, no, because honestly, like, I feel like at times that can trickle over. Right. Like, in the sense of like, because if you look just like me and you literally are like my twin, right? Like, who's to say that you're not going to treat him unfairly or unjust because they trigger you because they remind you of me?
I never even thought about that.
Like, whatever it is that you don't like about me, which is causing you to whatever, like, am I triggering you? Or is she or he triggering you? And now your response is snippy, but you don't acknowledge why it's snippy, but you're triggered because it reminds you of me.
I never even thought about that.
Nah, that's a hard pass.
I thought about like if they like you, if they don't really respect, because they don't have that much respect for you or love for you, and they kind of feed that into the child.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was for me growing up with my mom. Like when I would be around certain family members, because they didn't really respect her, it was more like, yeah, your mama did this.
Yeah.
And when we get home, well, me, I'm like the honest person. So
well, they said,
yeah, me too. Well, I'm the youngest of four, so yes, I was the tattletale.
Snitching.
I was like, yeah, so Auntie Rose, she said this, and like,
Yeah, but I feel like doing that plant seeds. So one thing that my dad told me when raising my daughter from the get go is like, don't say anything bad about her bio dad,
Right. Yeah.
because you don't want her to grow up resenting you. And I did that. Like I did not bat like any issue I had with him. My husband got the brunt of it. I was like, this dude, like this, like da da da. How can he do blah blah blah? And he would get it. I would never say anything bad about him around her. As she got older, and as my dad said, he was like, she'll start to notice his patterns, and she did. She started to notice like, his inconsistencies, or just like, broken like she started to notice it, so she started to develop her own opinions that were not influenced by me. And I love that, but also it does suck because like, I was like trying to like, hey, well, you should reach out to him, you should do this, and it did come back to bite her in the ass a little bit, but now we're navigating healing, so that's fun.
Healing's always fun.
Yeah.
But man, the last question is kind of off topic.
Go ahead, try it.
It's more like parenting.
Okay.
Is baby talk necessary? Like I don't like it.
Like, oh my god, I know.
Like, you have to go potty. Like, I want no. Do you gotta use
no?
bathroom?
If you talk to I feel that if you talk to your kid how, like if you talk to them like you're talking to like an older kid, they'll start to develop those skills. So
yeah,
necessary, no. No, but it does, for me, it does slip out. Like I'm like, are you gonna poop? Well, I'll say poop, and he'll like pat his like, and I'm like, okay, like I guess you do, like, but it's all a preference. Like all of it is a preference. Like I know people that do the baby talk. I've done the baby talk, and then it started to progress because I'm like, ugh, why does my voice get like that when I talk to you? Like, ugh. To now, it's just like, we'll talk to him and we'll tell him like, no, and we'll have like those conversations. Like, we'll talk to him, and he'll respond, and he'll like, so there is that understanding, which is really neat. Because and then we incorporate the some baby sign language and stuff, but it is cool to watch him like develop and understand like when we're talking. So yeah. You ready for all of it?
I know. Now she's kicking me.
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about me?
Yes, we are. We are totally talking about you. Have you guys picked a name?
Yeah.
That's cute.
We have.
Was it unanimous? Unanimous? Whatever. Did you guys, was there like, did you have a name picked out and then he had a name picked out and then it was just like,
he had no parts.
Oh.
I had my names. We've known each other since 6th grade. I told you, yeah. So
6th grade?
6th grade. Well, we met 6th grade. We weren't really friends. So that's a whole nother story. But
I ain't like you, I'm having your baby.
Right, exactly. But I had my names because we've been best friends all this time.
Oh, that's cute.
So he's always seen like my baby names.
So he's had time to adjust to them and see them.
No, well, he didn't even put up a fight. By the time we got married, and then now that it's actually real, it was like, okay, so this is the baby's name, and he was just like, okay. I mean, he tried to throw some out there, but and it was like, just some horrible. And it was just like, okay. So we can both. You heard that, right? You heard yourself say that crazy.
So moving on back to the original names that I have already set plans. Exactly. Wow. All right, that's it. You got anything else? You sure?
I'm just hungry.
All right, so this has been another episode of This is Motherhood Unfiltered, the Motherhood Hot Seat. Thank you so much, Frankie,
No problem.
Kayla,
My
Frankie,
pleasure.
for joining us. This has been fun. Peace.